Hey guys. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm TJ,
And I'm Tamara.
and this is the Joseph Podcast. Today we are going to be talking about nailed it. Nailed it. What does nailed it mean? Nailed it is, I don't know. I'm freestyling here, guys. I don't know what it means. Or do I?
Nailed it is the journey, but
It's a
also
celebration. Like when you say you nailed it,
nailed
it's
it.
like I don't want to say you figured it
Yes,
out,
you
but
did it.
you're on the right track. You've
Yes.
got something
So it's not a
achieved.
journey,
It's a sense of
it's a
achievement.
celebration.
Yeah, something like that. Honestly, nailed it. It's fluid. It's
Yeah.
in today's episode, I guess nailed it is kind of a celebration. In nailing it in marriage, and nailing it in marriage is by no means perfecting
No
marriage.
means.
Nailing it as a relationship and all those things entail. We are not for a second saying that
Why do
we
people
have.
always have to give these kinds of disclaimers? It's important to though, I understand, but I'm just asking. Especially when it comes to marriage, people are just like, we're not saying we know what we're doing, but
Mm, yeah, I guess sometimes I think we're all guilty of being very quick to presume.
mm,
And sometimes some words can sound very finite, they could sound very conclusive.
yeah.
Um, and just to protect ourselves in the
Yeah.
comment section.
Yeah.
So, nailed it does not imply that we have mastered marriage because we have not. It does not imply we have a perfect marriage. It doesn't imply that we know what we're doing. I think it implies that we're onto something.
We're onto something.
We're onto something.
And there's
That's what I
something
would
that
say.
someone can take from it
Yes.
and maybe
Yeah.
relate to.
And maybe that is marriage. Just get onto something. That
Yeah.
little thing and just run with it. But yeah, so I guess so here are my notes. I'm just gonna be transparent because this episode is really right off the bat. We're celebrating our spouse, celebrating achievements, personal and collective, talking about our journey and how that can be just as fulfilling, exciting, if not more than the destination. And I guess there is no destination in a sense in marriage. And again, hear me when I say it's a constant journey. My uncle said marriage is the only thing that you get the certificate for before completing. It's the only exam you get the pass certificate before actually passing it. And theoretically, as doomy and gloomy as it might sound, you kind of only pass it when you're dead. You kind of only pass it when you don't give up.
Yes.
Which
We're
I
too
wish that
stubborn.
was how my exams went. If not, I'd have got straight A's. 'Cause
That's
I
true.
didn't give up, but I
Low
still
key.
failed. Anyway,
Yeah.
so nailed it. What does that? What does that mean? I think if I was to speak and celebrate my wife, I think I would celebrate who she is. And what does that mean? It means cliche statement, but you know how people say, "You look at my glory, but you don't know my story." The truth of the matter is,
Wow.
I know what she's been through. I know where she's been. I know what she's had to endure. I know what she's had to learn and unlearn. And so celebrating is saying thank you in this context. Is saying thank you um for choosing me. Thank you for not giving up on me.
Wow.
Thank you for not quitting on us. Thank you for not quitting on yourself.
Mm.
Um, thank you for evolving. Um, and that evolving one is very key. So, actually, let's pause there. Let's pause there. Thank you for evolving. Thank you for not quitting on yourself. Um,
I love that.
the evolution is very key because the reality is coming into a relationship, it's all bubbles and butterflies. And then the proposal happens and you say, I do. And I just think back to the period between I do or I will, sorry,
So I
and I
do.
do. I used to call it Bridezilla. Bridezilla. And the funny thing for me was, I thought I was onto something. I thought I nailed it. And here's what I mean. I was like, oftentimes, that wedding preparation period is just seems more stressed than it needs to be. Like, why are we stressing? And I'm like, okay, well, what are weddings really about? Like most guys, they just want to pick their suit and show up. Women are about, this is where I want to get married. This is what I want to wear. This is who I want to be there. This is what I want the tablecloths to be this color. I want everyone to wear this. And most guys don't really care. So I was like, boom, nailed it. I'm just going to say yes to everything. So long as we can, like, obviously afford it. It's not say yes and go and sell my blood, but say yes. That way, there's no conflict. Like, why didn't anyone come up with this sooner? And how wrong I was. I was like, oh, babe, what do you think of this? I like it. What should we do there? What do you think? Um, do you think this placement's good? I love it, babe. Backfired. I think it was probably worse than people who actually said had an opinion, and that was exactly where I went wrong. As guys, we're rational. As women, we are. Well, I can't say we because we are not women.
You guys are.
Women are.
We are more emotional. Is that
She
what you're
said it.
trying to say?
No, I wasn't trying to say anything.
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't
We're
trying to
more
say anything.
emotional.
Let the record stand. I did not
We're more
say anything.
emotional.
And so I was scratching my head, wondering why I was saying yes. And it was still causing fights. You know what I mean? I just wanted to know I had my suit. I wanted to know there was jollof rice on the menu. And I was good. Um, but the reality is it doesn't work like that. And I just, man, we had fights and serious fights.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I'm
was
talking
bad.
us fighting, I'm talking calling people we look up to, like, what's wrong with this woman? I'm sure
Yeah,
she was like, this guy doesn't have sense, you know? And we still have those kind of fights.
yeah, it was.
I think there's just a bit more growth.
Yeah,
Um,
we just handle it differently, I think. Or
sometimes,
sometimes we handle it
sometimes,
differently. Some other
sometimes
times,
sometimes factory reset.
listen,
Sometimes
everybody, just
all hell,
pause.
like, as what was it that year they say, we die here. I'm not backing up, you're not backing up. Let
Yeah,
everybody sit in their corner.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but I celebrate the growth from that time because it was very intense. Again, me constantly being on the move, trying to figure out where, logistics of family. Our initial wedding date was October, but
October what?
see, these are the things, guys, that
It's
get you
okay.
into trouble.
You don't have to remember.
That's a life in the pits of hell.
Babe, come
Um,
on.
and I'm sweating
No,
because
don't sweat.
we
Go
got married in
ahead.
court October 29th,
Yes, my darling.
2021. You see this? These are the movements of a serial killer. This is what a serial killer does, right? Um, October. We were supposed to
October.
get married in
You're right.
October. We ended up doing court on October 29th.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the airports hadn't opened between the UK and the US.
Yes.
So we couldn't do our white and our traditional wedding, but we had already applied for our wedding certificate with the courts. So we went ahead and did that. My sister and my brother-in-law came, and then Tamara's family, we kind of had a pre-wedding. That was a fight in itself because I remember being like, okay, we're doing a white, we're doing a trad. Let's just do court and have a little bit of food. What did we have, babe?
Honestly, I'm just gonna stick to celebrating my husband, okay? Let's
You can
celebrate.
tell some of those wounds are still fresh.
Let's celebrate. Too
They're
fresh,
still
too
fresh.
fresh, too fresh.
But
We had a pre-wedding, is what he's
we
calling
had a
it.
pre-wedding wedding,
No problem.
right? We're talking table layouts, cloths, colors of which I didn't choose. Um, not that I wanted to choose them. Um, yeah.
You say that though, but the reason why we had that is because we had an in-house event decorator and planner.
And because we had it, we must use it. We couldn't just let it rest for the actual events
Why are
and
you
go to
here?
Nando's after court.
Now,
That's
looking back, now in today's world, now, today, we would go to court and go to Nando's right after and chill.
just wait for the wedding
But
day.
that's what
So,
happens 3 years later,
yes,
almost four.
it takes time. It takes time.
Takes time.
And I don't want to make it sound like she was just a crazy narcissistic serial killer that made me want to jump off a bridge a couple of times. No, that was not the case at all. Because I also could have given grace. The truth of the matter is, if I always believe, well, I never thought I was going to get married, but story for another day. But
Story for
actually,
today.
that's a lie. I didn't. Let me not say I never thought I was going to get married, but I got to the point where I didn't think it was going to happen for me.
He thought he was going to adopt 4 boys, get a bunch of nice cars because he's a car guy, and then just have a nice condo somewhere in Dubai, South Africa.
I didn't even care.
Somewhere.
I just
And just
wanted
live.
to. I was like, you know what? This is hard work. It's probably not going to happen for me for a host of different reasons. And at the time, I was working with a charity that provided homes for homeless people and young people. I said, you know what? I'm just going to adopt like 4 boys, preferably at the age where they can wipe their own butts and shower themselves. And I'm just going to look after them. We're going to be Arsenal fans. We're going to watch the game. When they're old enough, we're going to watch the game and have a beer. And just be cool, just
Wow.
chill, you know. So I didn't think it was going to happen. And so when it did, I was pleasantly surprised and I was grateful. And that's why I'm happy for my wife because, sometimes as guys will ask other guys, how did you know? And the statement is always, when you know, you know. And I think there's a reason why, because there isn't one clear answer for it. And so the easiest thing, and sometimes the most true thing to say is when you know, you know. And in getting married once, there's no manuscript.
Yeah.
It's going to end up being learn as you go, figure it out. And you have to give yourself grace. Sometimes you have to bite your tongue. A lot of times you have to bite your tongue and hold back and not react and freestyle.
You said sometimes you have to bite your tongue.
What I'm doing right now. So you just have to give grace. Sometimes, I mean, a famous comedian, I'm sure you all know who he is, did a show called Laugh at My Pain. And sometimes that's literally how you have to look at marriage. Laugh at my pain. Like as 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 a man, you'll want to bang your head across the wall sometimes. And there's no greater teacher than marriage. That's the honest truth. There's no greater teacher than marriage. Teach patience, long suffering. Um, yeah, patience, long suffering. It takes a lot of work, and the work doesn't stop. Sometimes the work evolves. I've seen many shows where people talk about you can't get comfortable just because you think you've got it right or because you think you've nailed it. Because women evolve, men evolve. What you like in this season of your life might not be what you like in the next season of your life. And how do you keep up with that? Right? You've just gotten accustomed to knowing, okay, this is what she wants at this time. This is what she needs. She's quiet. Prime example is, guys, you hear your wife talk, you think you need to provide a solution. And it becomes a fight because she just wanted you to listen. And you're losing it in your mind because you're like, you just told me about something that you're going through, and there's a perfect solution to it. But you don't want that solution. You just want ears. You just want to speak. And it's like, why would you, like, if I need to solve something and I don't have a solution, that's going to drive me nuts. But if I have a solution, then there's nothing to worry about. Those are some of the things. And it sounds crazy, but it's true. It sounds unrealistic. It sounds like what the heck, but that's what it is. You can't make sense of everything in marriage. You can't. You there's no amount of books you can read. Things help you, but sometimes the reality is those pages aren't going to be there in situations where you think you know what to do because of what you did last time,
Right.
and so you kind of copy and paste. Hey, life happens. You might have come back from having a bad day. She might have had a bad day. There's always a context behind it, from for
That's
whatever
true.
reason. And so celebrating my wife is celebrating the days that she picked herself up when she didn't want to. It's just That's just the reality. It's just what it is. When she didn't want to, or when she handled my frustrations or my stresses, even though they were nothing to do with her, or even when she couldn't make sense of it and she was trying. Um, it's celebrating the days where we would fight, and I'm a processor, so my phase is initially shut down. Don't want to think about it. It's not good. Trying to work on it. So I don't think about it. I give myself time to basically cool off, and then I want to process it, and then we can talk about it. And she's kind of guns blazing. Hey, babe, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, is this person normal? Like, are you?
It's giving
Like, it's
not
giving bipolar.
if you
Like you go, you close the door, you come back, new character, and action.
an
It's like,
action.
um, and that in itself can be something that could set you off because it's like nobody can just be over something so quickly, but sometimes they can, and sometimes some people are better at. Marius is very good at this. Something will affect her, but you'll never know. I'm the total opposite. I'd rather just not be around people. I just need my time. I need my space, and I'm not necessarily ready to deal with it in the moment. So let me just watch Netflix.
Wait,
Let me
I'll never
watch
know, or
YouTube's.
you, or like people will never know.
With you,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
people will never know.
Got you.
She can, we can have a fallout in the car, pull up somewhere, and she's, hey guys, Merry Christmas. And I'm just in the car, like, scrolling. I just need a distraction. I don't have a poker face, Um, and sometimes she'd be like, I don't understand, how it bothers me that something is wrong and you can't go into a space
And
and actually
everybody
just
must know
everybody must
about
know
it.
about it.
Why? Why? Why?
I'm
Why
like,
does the
okay, I
whole
don't want to
world need
go.
to know
I
that we
don't.
just
So
fought?
what do you mean you don't want to go? You mean to tell me you can't just put it aside?
Right.
Is doing you like that? Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Um, but I celebrate her strengths, her ability to give me grace in those times. Sometimes 9 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 is good for me.
I'll take that.
I'll take that.
I celebrate her tenacity. Um, in another episode, I know she spoke about being in school for 13 years. Um, that's not easy. On a day to day, we can see people getting on with life. And it's not to say that there's not things going on in other aspects of their life, but getting on with life. And comparison is very easy to creep in on the slightest things, talk less of 13 years. Um, so I just celebrate her grace. And I know that that's not entirely her. I know that's a testament to the strength of her faith. Um, I celebrate the mother that she's going to be. I'm going to expose her, but literally, yeah, I know a bit more than I want to know about giving birth and pregnancy and doulas and first and second year,
You gotta give
second
context.
and third degree
You
tears
gotta
and
give
stuff.
context when you
The
say it like
context is my
that.
wife spends her evenings watching labor
Birth
videos
videos, because they calm me down. I don't know
somehow.
what it is,
And
but
then
for some
occasionally she'll
reason,
literally flip the screen and be like, babe, do you want to see? And then I can't sleep because I'm literally traumatized. But then I was talking about the grace and the
it's
ability to
pastime.
respond to said human being. Be like, oh babe, oh wow, birthing is so beautiful. um, Meanwhile, I put down my bowl of cereal because my appetite's gone. I'm just
It's
like,
I'm sorry,
I
my
can't,
love.
I can't.
I'm sorry, my love.
Different strokes for different folks. So I celebrate her quirkiness. She's very goofy. Um,
This entire episode is going to be him celebrating me because we're
and
5 minutes to the end of the episode.
whoops, my bad. I celebrate. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of guys can relate to this and still relate to this. My wife used to take a minute and a half to get ready anytime we're going somewhere. In fact, I remember going to a friend's place and he was just like, "You guys are always late. This is not you." And I was like, "You know, it's not me." And it was the early days. So God forgive me. I threw my wife under the bus straight up. I was like, guy, I was ready. I sat, but and if you talk now,
Wow.
this and that. So she's gotten more intentional. She's getting better. It's a process. You know what I mean? And I had to give grace because initially for me, so there were some times where I was like, you know what? If we have two cars, I'm leaving you. I'll meet you there. Like this doesn't have to be a fight. Solutions. I'll go when you're ready. You come. When you're ready to leave, you leave, and I'll leave when I'm ready to leave because I also don't like to be the last person to leave. Whereas my wife can chill. Not that she wants to be the last person to leave, but time is time is a concept for her, literally. Whereas for me, I'm like, if I'm out of my house, I get tired literally by 10 o'clock. I'm yawning. I want to be in my bed. But the funny thing is, I'll get home and I'll be awake again. Story for another day. So
And who goes to bed first?
you go to bed first.
Always.
Unfailingly.
Always.
Unfailingly.
Let me celebrate you.
I wasn't finished.
Hey, good a big.
But yeah, so what have I spoken about? Birth videos, wedding. I just, and it's sweeter and better to celebrate when you're coming from the depths of serious frustration and just. I'll be honest, guys, and I will say this. I mean, there were times I didn't think it was going to work.
Yeah,
I just figured, you know
absolutely.
what? I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
done. This isn't marriage doesn't need to be this hot. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And if this is what everybody's desperately praying for, hey, kudos to you. You know, I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna kick it, you know. Um and we had that season. It
Yeah.
wasn't
It was
pretty.
tough.
It wasn't pretty.
It was not pretty
Paired
at
with the
all.
time
It was not
differences,
pretty.
being in different countries. Some days I just wouldn't sleep. I'd just be so upset, you know. We had days where we wouldn't even talk.
Yeah.
Um, and so the fact that we've made it this far, I mean, let me do my calc. Okay, so we're in 2025 now. So we're coming on to 4 years. People celebrate 4 years. We're celebrating 4
We're
years.
celebrating. We're
I think
celebrating
sometimes
every
the more you
year.
celebrate, the more it helps you to go forward. So that's where I'll leave it. I celebrate you. I thank you.
Thank you, my love.
It hasn't always been easy putting up with me, dealing with me, my tantrums.
Oh no, baby, you're perfect for me.
Doesn't sound like a serial killer. I wish you could do one of those post production things where you zoom in on the person's mouth when they're talking. Oh no, you're perfect. And then you have like a guy
You're
with a
perfect for
chainsaw.
me, my love.
Yes. So thank you.
You're welcome, my
That's what I
love.
would say.
I appreciate
Um,
that. I appreciate you saying that.
My favorite Tuzo. Anyway, over to you, babe. Keep it
I
short and sweet.
Yes, I'm gonna have to keep it short and sweet. One of the things that crossed my mind when you were talking was I heard someone say people who are married want to get out and people who are not married want to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because, like you said, tough we've had many tough times. And tough times have looked sometimes like a week. Sometimes it's looked like 6 months of just
Existing.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
What is this?
And so a few episodes before this one, when I said I'm surprised that I'm actually enjoying my marriage, I said that because I didn't know that there was light at the end of the tunnel of the constant bickering and constant fighting. And why am I the one that always has to have the perspective? Like, why am I the one that thinks this way? Or all these different things. I just did not know that there would be a way to come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I celebrate you for staying. So I think that's something that people don't talk about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I celebrate you for staying, and I celebrate you for giving me grace
Mm.
through the very tough periods because I know that I've done things, said things, insinuated things. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on?
Sorry, I'm always clowning. I don't know how to be serious in serious moments.
I've done and said things that have been hurtful. So I thank
Please take
you.
my mic just so that the sound is catchy.
It's catching it.
Okay, okay,
Don't
okay,
worry.
okay. No
No,
worries.
just
Sorry.
relax, okay? But thank you for forgiving me. Yeah.
Why am I
Crying.
crying?
It's not even real.
Not even real. Actually, on this occasion, it's very real. So,
Yeah.
forgiveness, people. Forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. Life is a list of choices. It's a list of intentionality. It's a list of forgiveness. It's a list of starting over. It's a list of frustration. It's a list of
Yeah.
doing it when you don't feel like it. And we nailed it because we didn't give up.
Yeah. And for being patient with me because I've
Oh, we haven't given up. And we
yeah,
won't give up.
we haven't given up and we're not going to give up because it's it's a journey that's it's helping us to become better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so much better because of you
Mm-hmm.
in so many ways. I mean, even something as little as or as simple as getting ready quicker. I was saying to you the other time that I realized it was so disrespectful of your time or anyone's time to tell someone that you're going to show up somewhere at a particular time and
Just don't.
you show up 2 hours later or 4 hours later. But until I caught that understanding, I didn't know to do differently.
Yeah.
And so I thank you for being patient with me, but also just being real with me and talking me through a lot of the things that I've also had to walk through. You know what I'm saying? Like talking to me through them and encouraging me as well. You're so good at that, babe. At encouraging me to just keep
You learn a new
going
thing
at
every day.
different, yeah, you are absolutely so good at encouraging me to just keep going, to keep pushing, regardless of how I feel. Because for the longest time, my emotions have been, I'm working on just managing my emotions. But I think as a woman and just as you're dealing with life, it's very easy to let your emotions become an idol, where it's always about how you feel and what you feel. But sometimes you just have to step back a little bit and realize that it's not about you. Marriage is for God, for kingdom, and for, I don't remember the last thing that Pastor Mildred always says, but she says it's for three things. So it's not always about me. It's not always about my husband. Sometimes it's literally about what God wants to do through both of us, through this situation,
Hmm.
what he wants to birth through our marriage. And so that has caused me, since realizing, to really just step back and see that it's okay. You know, the things that you stress about, the things that you get upset about, all those different things, they're normal, but you can gain perspective. You can actually change the way you look at situations.
Yeah.
It's just a thing of, do you want to? And when you do, you see how things just begin to look different. And our marriage looks very different from the way that it looked 2 years ago,
A year ago.
a year ago even.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful for you. So
Thank you,
thank
babe.
you. I
Yeah.
love you.
Harsh reality, even as guys, the last point I'll make is marriage can't work if you operate based on how you feel. It can't. Because even as much as I keep saying, guys, with logic, we rationalize and stuff, rationale, logic, there's still emotives, there's still feelings behind those. And so if you look at something logically and the what how you rationalize it with your logic and what it looks like don't add up, that emotion you express is a feeling. It won't work It won't work. You have to, and I'm not saying that we need to be robots. I'm really not saying that because
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah.
But if you go purely based on how you feel, marriage is tough enough. It's just gonna be harder, and it's just gonna
Yeah.
make seemingly less and less sense. So don't operate based primarily from a place of feeling. Have feelings, but don't let feelings be the driving factor. It sounds counterintuitive. It probably sounds counter to what world says. Um, but don't be led by your feelings. Don't be led by your feelings.
Celebrate your spouse. This is
Celebrate
nice,
them. Find
but
ways to celebrate them.
yeah.
Like
Don't always
small
pick out
ways.
all the negative
Yes,
things.
it could be a
Don't.
text. It could be a plate of fresh rice and stew,
Yeah.
right? You feel me on that, V?
Absolutely.
You feel me on that?
Yeah.
You know, just
Absolutely.
you
Find
know,
find find the things that you love about them.
yeah,
It cannot always be bad.
yeah.
That's the honest truth. It cannot always be bad. So celebrate your spouse, celebrate them, and
Sometimes,
celebrate them often.
yeah.
Don't wait
Do it often.
until there's a
Do it
need
often.
for a celebration.
Life is hard enough.
Yeah.
Life is hard enough. Things, things, things will always issues, problems will always be there.
Yeah.
So take stock. Take a moment. Take stock.
Count your blessings.
Just it makes it better. It doesn't make it bearable. Because don't ever look at it as bearable. It makes it better.
Yeah.
And it will. It's a mindset. So I think that's it.
I love you.
Love you too, baby.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sense a bunch.
Thank you. All right, guys. That's it.
Thank you for watching.
The Trazer Podcast. Shout out to the Blank Canvas Space.
Yes.
Houston, Texas. Look them up. I think it's at the Blank Canvas Space.
Yes. And it's on 2955 Gulf Freeway. I don't know why I know the address.
Don't expose the address like that. Now, you know people out there.
It's the blank canvas space.
I mean, true. Yeah, if you find the place,
you
you
want
need
to
the
know where it
address.
is.
All right, folks. Catch you later.
Bye.
Peace.